Monday sucks. You know what time it is. We are here every Monday. If you are following us on YouTube or on Facebook, make sure you click the follow button, the like button, and share with your friend, share with your mom, your baby mama, your brother, your sister, everyone that you have. This Monday is very special. We have amazing, amazing guests. But Monday Sucks doesn't happen without my illustrious co-host, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Tim Rival. How's it going, brother?
Oh, you're talking about me saying all these nice things.
We
Damn
are
it,
talking about you.
man.
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, dude. Man, I'll tell you, I got some stories to tell about today, but I'm doing real good. Today was a good day. Didn't
If
have
you're
to use
here,
the A.
welcome. Welcome. I had a long ass Monday. I did. So my Monday totally sucked today, and
Oh,
I had to deal with a lot of stuff today. So I can't wait to drink. But tonight I'm only drinking one brand because that's the only brand we're talking about. So I'm drinking this brand all day. He actually have a curfew to go to bed, so he needs to actually come on and come off.
real
He can't
quick.
he can't hang with the craziness. But guys, if you're here, welcome, welcome, welcome. Today was going on.
Well, that's weird.
Quickly,
Wait,
quickly,
he's back.
quickly. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm
With
here.
you.
You
If
froze
you're here,
for
tell us what are you drinking? What are you drinking? Tell us what you're drinking. We need to know what you're drinking. And share, 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 share. Like. We need Facebook and YouTube to know that we are here. Um,
right.
Tell us what in the comment. I can't wait to hear it. What are you guys drinking tonight? Me, I'm gonna drink only one brand, and I'm gonna introduce the brand pretty soon. And I can't not wait to tell you for you guys to know more about this brand. This brand I think was introduced to me by actually Mr. Timothy here. He's the one who talked first time about this brand. He loves it. He told me about it, and needless to say, I now own 12 bottles of this brand, a couple duplicate, and I think today I order another one.
Which one? Did you order the most recent batch?
Hey, every time I post a new one, before even I get it in my hand, this brand is always gracious enough to make sure that we get a sample and really taste it. But oh my god, I don't know how I end up with all of it. I have two bottles here that I know you love and you wish you had, but sucks to be you. I did not drink mine, so I'm holding on to mine because
I,
you told me about it.
did you get bottles?
Yeah, because what is it? When I tested the first one, the first time I tested it, I told you it was wild turkey, right? I said it was wild turkey, and you're like, nope, it's not. Guess again, and I'm like, what has this funk and still tastes like this? So Tim, I will let you introduce our guests before we bring in them. Tell us a little bit about the brand.
Oh man, Four Gate Whiskey Company. So I'll just break it down real simple, and I'll let Bill tell the rest. That's who's here. Is Bill Staub from Four Gate Whiskey Company. It's a great example of what happens when a whiskey nerd decides to make his own brand, and it's remarkable. They do a lot of things with finishes, and I know we're going to talk about some of the finishes tonight. I'm really excited about that. But yeah, I personally think finishes with bourbon suck, but this guy knows how to do it, and it's remarkable. It's here. He's local to Louisville, and he makes a kick-ass product. And his bourbon.
And our audience is already talking about it. Ladies and gentlemen, help us give a warm Monday suck work welcome to the man, the myth, the new kid on the block that actually is not new, but is on the block now,
There
Mr.
he is. There
Bill.
he is.
Bill. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me see if I can move you guys around. Yeah, let's have him in the middle. That's how I like him. Have him in the middle because you're about to be questioned.
Oh,
So
great.
you in the middle.
What's up, fellas?
Welcome, welcome,
Go, buddy.
Bill. I appreciate you coming on. Four Gates have been in my house for the last 12 months. That's when I discovered Four Gates, and it was introduced to me by my man here, Tim Variety, because every time he tastes something amazing, he want to know if I hate it, and he sent me a little sample of it to say, "Do you hate it?" And I say, "I don't." Him and I honestly, we can tell you right now, we really do not like finishes. We've talked a lot of crap about a lot of people that actually do finishes every time, and you are here now. So you got some explaining to do while you're here because I have a lot of question about everything you do. But before you explain yourself, tell the people who you are.
My name is Bill Staub, and I am one of the founders of Four Gate Whiskey Company, along with Bob D'Antoni. We started the company about 3 years ago now, roughly. Put out our first product. It's probably April 2019, so 2 years now. So we're on about to release batch number 12. We work with Kelvin Cooperage here in Louisville. Yeah, we just sent out the press release today. We work with Kelvin Cooperage here in Louisville. That's kind of the one thing that really sets us apart, I think, from a lot of other companies is, they work with us hand in hand and are great partners with what we do. They have access to barrels from all around the world, and it's kind of like a playground. We blend our whiskey, we go in there and taste it with them, and you walk through this giant warehouse full of barrels that come in from the Caribbean or Europe or you name it, they've got them. And you just kind of get to take your pick, and we lean heavily on them to pick the finished barrels because nobody knows what that wood does to a spirit more than the guys that have been doing it since the 1960s when their company was founded in I think 63 over in Scotland. They moved over here in the 90s, and they've been supplying barrels to people. They know exactly. They taste it beforehand. They taste it afterwards. They know exactly what it does. They're fantastic.
All right. What got you into this?
So I started modernthirst.com, I guess.
You are the man behind Modern Thirst.
Yeah, I am. I had two buddies started it with me. I started that about 6 or 7 years ago, I guess, right? Really when the bourbon boom was kind of kicking off. And because of that, we started getting, I guess right around the same time is kind of when they started doing private barrel picks. And stores were smaller liquor stores didn't know what they were doing. So they would hire us to do the barrel picks for them, essentially. Mm-hmm. And that kind of parlayed itself as that's kind of started petering out when the store owners started realizing they could do it themselves, and the distilleries themselves got a little more efficient with it and had a better education process with that. Mm-hmm. That kind of started falling off. At the same time, I was contacted by some of the national brands to help them strategize and blend new releases. So I did a few of those and met Bob D'Antoni. He introduced me to Kelvin Cooperage, and that idea kind of percolated in my head for a while. At the same time, I got introduced to Scotch by one of my writers in Modern Thirst, and I just love the way that, if you think about bourbon, you got all these different mash bills you can play with, and your flavor spectrum is like this because most of that flavor comes from a new oak barrel. If you think about Scotch, they have one mash bill, essentially. It's just malted barley, but their flavor spectrum is miles wide because they can use any barrel in the world to impart the flavors on it. So we're just really kind of trying to introduce American whiskey to some of the new flavors and the fun you can have using our product that we make here in the United States and we do such a good job with, and just kind of taking the reins off of it and letting it run and kind of seeing what we can do with it.
The one of the funny thing, as you just mentioned, right? I tell my friends this all the time, and I teach Scotch school, and I tell people all the time, Scotch have more infinity because obviously all the barrels that come from all around the world sometimes can be, Scotch can be aged in. Bourbon is kind of limited sometimes because it's only got to be in, brand new oak, charred oak. So obviously you are limited to what you want. But people usually don't see it as something grandiose. They like what they like, the way they like it. But I've been a single malt guy. I've seen single malt aging so many stuff that I like to call give it character, right?
They do.
Now you working with this quote unquote, you working with the cooperage, what was your background? Is it barrel picking, or were you more involved in the industry itself?
Well, I was on the media side of it, like you guys are now. Did that for years and years and years, and reviewed it, and that's kind of where I guess I built somewhat of a reputation. I work in finance during the day.
Okay, just like me.
Yeah, and my partner Bobby was working in kind of price controls. He had his own company, and when this kind of started and it took off, he went full time with Forgate. I do it part time. He does it full time.
Okay.
Bobby sources all of our barrels, and he's the relationship builder. He's out there calling brokers and distilleries and trying to find whiskey for us, and then we blend it, and then we take it to Kelvin Cooperage and discuss everything with them and figure out, what are we going to do with this whiskey.
So I mean, blending is an art, right? I tell people all the time, blending is an art, right? And
I think so.
You will see behind me, have I praise the old Carters, the Carters, because they are amazing blenders. That's how I see it. One of the things I like about your bourbon is, even though you come up with some crazy barrels to age it in, it doesn't lose the authenticity of the
Sure.
right? It doesn't. It still almost confuse your consumer, right? Because I look at it sometimes like, oh, this tastes like this thing, but not really. That's kind of how I see it. But really, the question here is, who in the heck is Kevin? That's who I want to know.
Kelvin.
Who
Kelvin.
is
Kelvin Cooperage.
It's Kelvin Cooperage. That's Cooperage we work with. This name. They were founded in Glasgow, Scotland, and River Kelvin is the river.
Kelvin Cooperage, but are you guys referring to them?
Yeah, Kelvin Cooperage.
Okay, why do you guys refer to them particularly?
Because we partner with them on everything we do. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. I mean, I could go out, we could source whiskey and put it in a bottle. I wouldn't have started a company. We had to go out and get investors for this, and it wouldn't have made sense for me to go do that. I know a lot of people do it and they're very successful with it, and that's fine. But I'm perfectly happy drinking their whiskey. I love Heaven Hill. I love Knob Creek. And if I'm going to buy whiskey from all these different distillers and then try to bottle it and sell it myself, it's going to cost 3 times as much as it would for the exact same whiskey that I could just go buy off the shelf. So why am I doing it unless it's just a money grab? I'm not trying to do it as just a money grab. We do want to be successful, but we're trying to be creative and different, which is why we work with Kelvin on all these barrel finishes. And that's the niche we've kind of gone after, because there's not a lot of people when we started the company doing this. It's actually gotten a lot. There's a lot more people doing it now. Bardstown Bourbon Company's doing some good stuff with it, and a lot of other people are jumping in. Barrel Bourbon has started doing a lot more barrel finishes in the last couple of years as well. But we just, there's no sense in me trying to compete with, let's say, Buffalo Trace on their own product. There's no point in that.
And obviously a lot of companies do what you do, but what would you say separates you, right, as a blender, and using this, we're gonna come to the choice of barrels.
I think the big one of the things that sets us apart. One of the things that sets us apart is that a lot of times when you see people barrel finish, and I don't mean this as a shot against anyone, but they will take their base spirit and they'll use it very young. They'll use a 4-year-old or 3-year-old when they have 6, 7, 8-year-olds out on the shelf, and they kind of use barrel finishing. It's almost a gimmick to them. They don't do it full time. They don't really focus on it, and it's almost at times you look at it, you feel like they're trying to cover up flaws in the whiskey. We won't buy whiskey we wouldn't drink.
What is it? Tim, would you tell them how I call barrel picks? It's like putting makeup on a pig. It's still a fucking pig, right? You put makeup on a pig, it's still a fucking pig.
Yeah. We need to get it because I get this all and piss people off. So we'll just keep going. Keep going.
So for that reason, when usually when we talk about barrel finish, I said if the distillate going in is shitty, it will come out shitty, but just look a little prettier shitty, but it will still look shitty, right? So
you can't fool people.
Correct. But I feel like some of these companies will try to actually fool their consumers by making them believe that this barrel pick, a finish in a unicorn poop barrel is the one that actually will do it. And I always say, no, give me transparency. If I take your distillate before it's been aged, will I tell myself Okay. You know, I like this, but in the barrel, it just upgraded and uplifted, right? So that's really
Yeah.
where I stand with barrel finish. So that's why
Yeah.
when I heard about Forgate, I say, are they the gimmicky people that are gonna try and convince me to drink something that I really don't want to? And why, right? Why is it that I should be interested? Because I mean, we know distillates are expensive, but for the average consumer, which who I speaks for, is why should somebody go directly and say, I'm gonna pick up this 180 or 100, 150 or $160 bottle and try, right? That's usually the question.
Right. Well, our philosophy is pretty simple. We're not going to put something in a second barrel if we don't like it to start with. We've never bottled anything that I wouldn't drink before we barrel finish it. Just that's the bottom line. I take blending very seriously, and so does Bobby, my partner. We take that whiskey very, very seriously. And if we don't like the whiskey, we don't buy it to start out with. And if we don't like the blend, we don't do it. We've actually had an example of that where we aged a bunch of whiskey that we blended together in rum barrels. And when it came out, we thought, well, this is okay, but it's not really great. Mm-hmm. And we didn't know what to do with it. And we had a ton of it. And what we wound up doing is this became batch number 6 that won barrel finished whiskey of the year, because we then took it and we aged some of it in cognac barrels. And it's also going to come out in a separate iteration where we aged it in some other barrels as well. So it's like a combination of a dual finish. And it wound up being fantastic when we did that. But our issue with it when we first did it is I tasted it, and Bobby and I were talking, and we said, it's okay, but it reminds me of other people's finished product. Why are we going to release? What's the point? Why are we doing it if we're just doing what everybody else is doing? That's not our thing. We want to start out with great whiskey, and then we don't want to cover it up with a finish. We just want to kind of enhance it just a little bit, add a little bit of character to it that it doesn't have otherwise, and give you something a little bit different that you're not going to get everywhere else. Not a lot of people are barrel finishing 12 and 13-year-old bourbon. I mean,
no one is doing that. And that's where I thought you guys were crazy, because I'm like, okay, you are barrel finishing this thing. What is your inspiration? Are you guys working in combination with Cooperage, Kelvin, to come up with this barrel? Because for perfect example, where I knew you guys are daring and crazy is that split stave, right? It's like, who comes in the morning and go, you know what? I don't like this whole thing. Let me flip the script. I'll take 2 or 3, 4, 5 stave. I'm gonna replace this thing, and then we're gonna age it.
Wow. That was a fun one. We're really proud of that whole split stave process, and that was a conversation we were having with William Hornaday, who's the director of operations and works with us, almost every day at Kelvin Cooperage. We were talking about doing a finish for Christmas of 2019, and using some charred barrels and some toasted barrels, and then just pouring them together. And all of us were kind of going back and forth about how that's not really us. It's not really different enough for us. And I don't even know. Around the table, we just all kind of came up with the idea of, well, what if we just split the barrels apart and put them back together and alternated those staves, and get the best of both worlds in one barrel. And it wound up being something really unique. The visuals on it are fantastic. If you check out our website, we have on both of the split stave releases, we've had some of the barrels cut in half, so you can see the inside of the barrel and see those alternating staves. I think that's the picture I showed you for batch 10, by the way, was one of the barrels cut in half with the 410.
Correct.
But it's a great visual. It's a great story to tell. And it's something that it's not really a gimmick, because you can taste both influences on the whiskey, especially the toast. But it's not just a straight toast finish, because it adds that kind of chocolate and coffee note from that char along with it.
Sorry, I'm going through and trying to see if I can actually get all my things out. So explain to me the color coding, because
it's not as complicated as you think. Blue is blue is our finished bourbon. Green is our rye. Now, if it was up to me, we would have different colors for unfinished rye and finished rye. But Bobby loves green, and Bobby is obsessed with rye, so he wants to run with green, and I'm good with that. Now, the red one is only red because we released it on our first Christmas. Our next one will be red as well, as long as it's a bourbon, a split stave bourbon, that we're going to bring out that split stave process in different looks, different types of whiskey in it, different types of barrels, but it will be a split stave every Christmas. As long as it's a bourbon, it'll be red. Whenever it's a rye, it'll be green. But And then the black is for unfinished bourbon.
So we have blue as a color. We have blue, black, green, red. Those are your colors.
Yeah, and we have a darker blue for our tribute release to Kevin McLaughlin, the founder or one of the brothers who owned Calvin Cooperage, who passed away last year ago, last Christmas.
Are you talking about the
Eagle Thief?
The Eagle Thief. That Eagle Thief, son of a bitch.
Hold on.
And that's Pepperdine's colors. That was where he went to college and played golf. He was a very, very good, extremely good golfer, and so we use Pepperdine's colors in honor of him. And that same color is going to be on our private.
There you go. That's the one.
That's the one. That's the Eagle Thief.
That's the one.
So,
and we're going to use those same colors on our single barrel bourbons this year. We have some single barrel and some private select barrels coming out.
So if I actually look at this right, I think I'm missing. I think the only batch I'm missing. And did you guys go chronologically?
We did, except for Eagle Thief.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way till 12.
Except for Eagle Thief, which is kind of we don't consider it a batch. We'll do it again if there's enough demand for it and we have some good whiskey for it. We'll try to do it every year, but we're not guaranteeing it. We can't guarantee it.
I mean, I understand it's a
Eagle Thief will go by hole. It'll say hole 1, hole 2, hole 3 each year that we do it.
Okay, because I believe I'm missing maybe 4, maybe 3 of them. Yeah, 3 of your batches. But the real question when I'm going through it is how is the choice of distilling? Is it this year we are going to do, I think, what did you guys release for batch 1? Because I don't have batch 1. So
batch 1 is an 11.5-year-old Kentucky straight bourbon. It was 74% corn, 18% rye, and 8% malted barley. We picked the barrels, blended the barrels together. We tasted, I don't know how many we tasted. We tasted a ton of, we bought a ton of them. We tasted a ton of them and picked the very best. And we put those, we found they're originally sherry barrels from Spain, Oloroso sherry, and then they were used to do a batch of rum down in the Florida Keys. Mm-hmm. So they were dual use. We put them in there. They spent about 3 months, I believe, if I recall correctly, in those secondary barrels. And then we bottled them, and it's a big hit. So we called that one the Kelvin collaboration, and we have 2 recurring. Well, 3. We haven't used one again yet, but we're about to. So we have 2 recurring batch names. We have Kelvin collaboration, and then we have Split Stave by Kelvin, and then we'll also have River Kelvin Rye, which is our straight rye.
Batch 6 is a Kelvin collaboration 2.
Yes,
right. Mm-hmm. And what was Kelvin collaboration 1? Was it?
That was the 11.5-year-old Kentucky straight bourbon finished in sherry rum casks.
Okay. Which batch was that?
Batch 1. That was the very first batch.
Okay. Yep. All right. So, just wanted to make sure I understood because I have them lined up right now. So I'm looking at them by batch just to be sure that I'm not missing anything.
It's by number, and I think you can slide the Eagle Thief in between 9 and 10, I think is what.
Yeah, I have that on the side here. So I don't, because I have now, beside 12, the 11 and the 12 that I have coming, which is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm missing batch 1 and batch 1 and batch 3. Batch 1 and 3 is what I'm missing. But I have everything else. Craziest thing is the last 2 batch. So batch 11 and batch 12, which I have behind me here. So these are my 2 batch. Batch 11, which is Ruby Rye Spring. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. That's my favorite one we've done.
And batch 10, which is the Split Stave by Kelvin. Those are the 2 I want. I don't know if you have it, but I would love to discuss the last 2 release and taste it. Right now, I just opened the Split Stave by Kelvin. Can you tell us a little bit about it? Because what I read here is New American White Oak, toasted, and char cask, right? So we all know toasted barrels are just gimmicky, but you promised us not to do any gimmick and really bring us something different. So tell us more about batch 10.
So batch 10 are those split stave barrels that I mentioned earlier. On this one, we went with a toasted on some of the barrels and a number 2 char. So we went the lighter char on this one because rye doesn't stand up to secondary barreling quite as much as bourbon does. It's not quite as heavy and in your face of flavor. It's a little lighter. So it's a mixture of those. We had 2 sets of barrels made. We broke them apart, put them back together, and alternated the staves. Now you say that toasting's a gimmick. It's not. When you toast it and don't char it, it brings out marshmallow and creme brulee. That's the flavor you get from it. When you char it, you get all the other flavors. Vanilla, caramel, everything else that you get from a barrel. So the more toast that's exposed to the liquid, the more you get that sweet marshmallow, kind of a burnt marshmallow creme brulee note to the whiskey. What's really popular right now are toasted finishes and double oak finishes, and this is kind of a combination of the two when you use those barrels that have both toasted and charred staves separately. Looks like it's deeper inside.
It confuses my palate because because I sit here and I'm tasting this and I'm like, I feel like it's a charred thing. But there's a weird after, on the end of the palate going, oh, wait a minute, is there something?
If you taste it with our batch 7, which is the River Kelvin rye, so 7, 10, and 11 are all the same underlying rye whiskey.
Okay.
It's a 7-year-old Indiana rye, 95.5. That's probably my favorite rye distilled out there, outside of a Booker's rye or something like that. So they're all the same distilled, and we put those out we put it out as is, unfinished, on the River Kelvin rye, and then we had batch 10, which is split stave. You can taste them side by side, and you go from that typical Indiana rye, which is very citrusy, very peppery. You can get a lot of mint in there or dill, depending on how your palate. I don't find many people get both, but most people get one or the other, mint or dill, out of that distillate. When you add the toasted and charred split stave barrels to it, everyone talks about how sweet it's become. It's a much sweeter rye whiskey than the standard the standard River Kelvin rye. And then we move on to batch 11, and you introduce fortified wine to it and rum, which is rum gives you that molasses sweetness, and then the ruby port is a very bright red fruit fortified wine. So it's very sweet, very red, very fruit forward on that one. So you get 3 different presentations of the same whiskey, which we really kind of want to do that as almost a vertical ladder when we were doing this.
So this is a 7-year-old, 45-day in the ruby port. So will we get more darker notes?
You will get red fruit, and then you'll get a lot of molasses on that one.
Okay, so it's the same distillate that was aged in different casks, right?
Exactly.
Which make you guys a little bit of geniuses, because you're using the same distillate and telling somebody's palate. I bet I can still surprise you with the same thing.
Yeah, we've had a lot of people taste those, particularly 7 and 10 side by side, and it is if you do that, it's a night and day difference. You can still get that.
If you look at it, those you will expect in a rum barrel or in a port barrel to come up with this red fruit that you're looking at here, this burgundy color, pushing it forward in. But rye into port is not something I would expect, right?
There's a couple places that have done it before. I've been a big fan of it when I've tried it. And we just wanted to, our style is that we're not going to cut it with water. We're not going to chill filter it. It's going to be as it comes out of the barrel, out of both barrels. And that's very important to us. We obviously, when you come out at a price point that's over $125, $150, you're not aiming for Joe Bob, who runs into a liquor store to buy something to mix with his Diet Coke on the weekends, right? You're aiming for people who are really into whiskey. They're collectors, or they have a big collection. They just like to taste everything. They like to buy everything,
like jerks like me. That just
like you two guys.
Correct. I have 4 gates just truly just as a flex.
Sure.
Because I just tell people, I will tell you right now, the only 4 gate that I drink all the way till the finish, and I actually had somebody beg me to sell them the rest of half of my bottle.
I can guess here.
Batch 8. Batch 8 was what.
8.
Yeah. Batch 8. They're like, no. I want it. And the funny thing is that half of that bottle I gave away. But craziest thing is I just fell in love with it. Tim is still trying to convince me to let him have my batch 5, but that's not going to happen.
Tim's been on a mission to find more bottles of those of 3 and 5 for a long time.
Yes. So
I've drank 3 of them already. I need more. This one's about dust.
Here is my question. So you decide to blend, you get it done, you put it out there. Fuck it. You like it or done. The one credit I have to give you is you approached it, and this is for everyone that is watching. if you guys are watching right now, welcome. Put if you have 4 gates right now, put your favorite batch so we can do a poll and see exactly which one is your favorite batch. If you have 4 gates, because I probably 4 gate is for the bougie people. We have 4 gates, so
Abuji.
we are very cool. But the one thing I want to give you credit on is you approach 4 gates from a consumer level, right? From the whiskey lover, right? Place, not the I just want to get drunk in college or I just started drinking, right? You want people to really exquisitely, right, love what you're putting out there. Well, this is one thing I respect about 4 gates. That's my first, respectful
Appreciate that.
thing. The second is you did exactly what we do. If you look on my sign on the right, it said the truth is barrel proof. You went barrel proof and you're giving me exactly how the bourbon's supposed to taste. And I've been meaning to tell you this for a long time. I respect you for that because now every time I drink, 4Gate's the only one I tell people. I say, hey, it's here as barrel proof, no water touched it, and I like it the way it came out. That's why I never give you guys shit or never talk shit about you, because you never put anything out that wasn't just straight from the barrel and exactly the way I want to taste it. So that's more power to you. Now you putting this thing out. You are releasing each one of those in honor of what you're doing. How are you guys coming up with this collaboration on the barrel? Is it a mad scientist sitting in the back of Kelvin Cooperage and going, you know what? We haven't tried this. Let's try this. And they go, hey, Bill, partner, whomever, come in. We will talk about it. Or do you just sit down and go, you know what? As a consumer, I've always wanted to try my bourbon aged in this and that. So I think we're gonna try it. How do you come up with that?
It's a little bit of both, to be honest. Our batch 2, that outer loop orbit, is a probably the most out there thing we'll ever do, and that was one where we had taken a blend to Calvin to have them taste it, and they wanted us to go smell these barrels. They were orange curacao, and then used for orange curacao first, and then gin, which is a weird combination. I don't like orange curacao, which is funny. I don't like orange curacao finished bourbon.
I don't like it either.
It's sweet, but the gin had cut the sweetness. It smelled like orange tang, the powdered drink that people grow up with, I guess. So we wanted to try it out.
If you're pre-70s, tang. Everybody knows tang.
Yeah. So if you what we did though is we had to go back and revisit our blend, because I had blended it towards a sweeter kind of flavor profile, and we didn't want to go sweet with that. We want to go spicy because it did have that kind of juniper characteristic, and that it still had some of that citrus in it. So we wanted to go spicy, and we blended it back towards a spicy flavor profile before we put it in those secondary barrels. But on some of them, Calvin Cooperage has come to us and said that we have this opportunity to get these Apera sherry and tawny port barrels from Australia, but they have to be pre-sold. Do you want any? And we said, hell yeah, we do. We want sherry and port barrels every day of the week. So load us up, and we bought a bunch of those barrels, and they're coming out real soon. Some really interesting stuff with those, by the way.
So I also have to say, your bottle is the only one that doesn't sell on secondary, but actually sell out. That's something you need to actually be priding yourself on.
I think part of that is our price point. When we first started this, we figured our bottles would sell for $100. We had absolutely no idea the cost associated with doing a company like this. And once we started blending it, the cost started piling up, and we literally just take our expenses, add the margin that the investors are hoping to get, and Correct. That's the cost that we sell it to the distributor. When it comes to the consumer, it's double what we sell it for because of all the taxes and the markup. So, we literally could not sell it for $100 without losing money.
Yep.
I mean, that's to a consumer. We could sell it to the distributor, which is not that big of a deal, but we couldn't sell it to a consumer for $100. So we literally have more cost in whiskey alone in the bottle. In order to do that, we would have to cut it a lot down to 100 proof or 95 proof, which we don't want to do. So Bill, part of it, I think, is
if you ever put water in 4 gates, I will find you, Bill.
I think the main reason that we're not on secondaries, and I'm glad we're not. I've never been involved with the secondary markets, but the main reason we're not is that our price point already comes out pretty high. And if you're in the states that we distribute to, you can pretty much, if you want our whiskey, you can find it when it comes out.
Yeah. So I just posted on there. Bourbon Outfitters, they're not paying me yet. I'm gonna send them a bill after this show. About advertising it. These are, is Justin House of Bourbon that also is part of Bourbon Outfitters. They usually ship in a lot of state. That's where I got most of my 4 gates from, because it was easier to come to my state, Nebraska.
Sure, they're great.
What other state are you guys in? What
we are in brick and mortar stores in Kentucky, Indiana, Georgia, and Tennessee.
That's it.
That's it. We are on 3 online sites. So we're on Sealbox, we're on Bourbon Outfitter, and now we're on Caskers.com.
Okay.
So of them, they ship, I think, between them to 42
Caskers?
states. Caskers.
Yeah, I know Caskers. They love to upcharge their shit. That's why I think you guys need to make sure your retailers are not people that trying to stiff people on prices, just to be sure that we actually get access to your bottles for people. What you produce is such a high quality that I wouldn't even want anybody to taint it. And I love that you don't get involved in politics. I mean, the whiskey politics. You just put your shit out and just hope that, this is Monday Sucks. It's okay to cuss if you want to, Bill. You're fine. But this is Monday Sucks. We keep it real. Right? We keep it real. And I'll always tell you, when I talk about a brand, I don't like flexing. I don't like giving the brand any credit that they do not, right? They do not deserve. And I will tell you right now, the only thing I don't like about you and 4 Gates is because you're not that available. That's it. I wish I could talk crap about you, but I can't. I really can't. So you working with Kelvin Cooperage, and you guys have less barrels out there. You just make it sweet and good, like some good gumbo made by your grandma, and it's good just enough for you and your cousin.
Oh, we lost him.
By the time the time he come out, right? By the time he come out, if you don't get yours, you pretty much screwed on a deal. You will not find yours. It's already in and out. So I will tell you guys right now. Tim has been very quiet. We need to make people want you to come out west. They want you to come down to the West Coast to sell more of it there. Tim, are you shy because this is your boss? So
no. Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Bill, let me tell you this. Tim cuss all the time on this show. He's talkative. I can shut him up if I want to. So you here today, and he's very shy. Right after you leave the show and we move on to the second hour, I bet you anything you have a lot to say. But because you're his boss, he's trying to be nice.
I know Tim very well, and he does not.
If you're watching right now and you follow Monday Sucks all the time, put in the chat if Tim is a talkative guy or not. We need to know. Put an F in the chat if Tim talks all the time.
Hey, shut the fuck up for a second. Here's the thing. I really like his product, and when I really like something, I get excited about it. I don't want to talk over him or say something that's not accurate when he's just here and he can say everything that needs to be said. So I'm just going to sit here and let him talk about it. And when he's done, I can get fucking excited about it again.
You see what people are posting, Bill? This is where the comments are coming from. They're saying there's a lot of F in the chat that Tim is the most talkative person on the show. He never shut up once. He gets going. So you turn my co-host literally mute. He can't even talk.
That's a rarity. I've known Tim for several years now pretty well, and he rarely shuts up around me. So,
hey man, I want the people to know. But I've told you since day one, man. It's the very first time I put your whiskey in my mouth, I said, "Holy shit, everybody needs to know about this." So I want everyone to know about it. I'm really stoked that you're here. I'm stoked that you're on the show. It makes me happy that all the opportunities that you've given me, all the opportunities you've given Jack, all the opportunities you've given this show. Everybody needs to know you, man. So I'm happy to sit here and shut the fuck up and let you talk. I would gladly do it a day of the week.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at Tim just being humble as hell. Before we let you go, I know you have a curfew. So before we let you go, I just want to make sure that tell us what is coming for what is in the future of
our next batch. We just sent out the press release today, and it hit the online retailers already. So it should be hitting brick and mortar stores within a week, at least in Kentucky. I'm not sure what the time frame is for the other states yet. I know I think they've all picked up their pallets. So it's out there. But we have our Calvin Collaboration 3. So we bring this out every year around Derby. We call it our Derby batch, essentially, even though we didn't even have Derby last year. But this one is a blend of 9-year and 12-year-old Kentucky straight bourbons.
So it's going to be a 9-year then?
Yeah, we can't age state it when it's barrel finished. TTB doesn't really let us. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It's kind of weird. So 9-year and 12-year blend, and it is aged in PX Sherry rum casks. Originally PX Sherry, Pedro Jimenez Sherry barrels. They were then used for rum at Virago Spirits up in Richmond, Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's my favorite of the Kelvin collaborations we've done. Batch 1, it's got a special place in my heart because it was our first release. Obviously. But in terms of just drinking it, it's my favorite. And that's the bottle there.
Batch 12?
Batch 12, 123.7 proof.
All right.
Blue label.
I literally just got mine today, and I'm telling you guys, I got it on Bourbon Outfitters. I talked to my buddy there, and he's like, yeah, it's available online. I just put in my order and I picked it up. So if you guys want it, make sure you go cop it, because apparently, Bill here doesn't like to make a lot of his juice. It's little that he can get, and if you can get yours, go ahead and get yours. Otherwise, it'll be gone. And
I do want to say one note on that. We are working to expand how much we can produce. Our distributors want to expand like crazy. I know they want us to go into Texas, and they want us to go kind of east towards the Carolinas and Virginia. A lot of demand there.
You got to.
The problem with Texas is it's too damn big. If we go there, we're gonna have to double our production size. And my lord. But anyway, we are working on it.
You wouldn't be in business if you're up for the challenge, right?
What's that?
You wouldn't be in business if you're up for the challenge, right?
We're working. It's going to be a while. Before we get to Texas, it'll be a while, but we'll probably find ourselves in the next year or so, maybe in Virginia or even DC.
Somebody wants to come to Illinois.
Illinois is tough. We like to work with Republic National. We have a great relationship with them, and they are not in Illinois. So it's much easier for us to go into states where they already have a good infrastructure. We'd have to start a new relationship and sign a new contract with a new distributor to go to Illinois.
I think New York.
I want to go to Illinois.
New York.
I'm a massive Cubs fan, so I would love to be able to go up and watch Cubs games every year and buy my product on the shelves, and maybe even convince them to carry it in Wrigley Field.
Yeah, as you can see, we also have retailers. Sean own a retail store in New York. We have retailers that follow us as well on the show. And every time I bring a brand, I always like to remind them that as much as maybe the stats are talking to you, there is truly some retailers that would love to carry your product. Just by the sheer love that they love the product, right? Before even they sell it out there, they love the product, and they'll be more than happy to actually tell their consumer about it, right? I know a couple stores that actually have your product as an allocation, because they're like, I only get 3 or 4 of this is allocated, so it's gonna be for my best customer or whatnot. So yes, Tim. Now that you've been quiet all along, what do you have to say for yourself?
Go buy all the 4-Gate you can find. It's fantastic. It seriously might be my favorite non-distilling produced whiskey that there is. There's a couple other that fight for that spot, but I think 4-Gate's up there for number 1. Not just saying this because I have to. I'm saying it because I love it. So there you go.
Bill, any last words?
I will say I did see in the comments. I just commented under our Modern Thirst name. Someone talking about Eagle Thief being $2.99. That's an expensive one because it's a tribute release of Kevin McLaughlin, who passed away from cancer, and the proceeds of that go to the West End School, which was his charity of choice that he helped kind of get their athletic programs up and running, and really they were kind of a project of love for him for many years. So the reason that's expensive, we know it's expensive. There are only 4 barrels of it, is because
I bought it just for that reason as well, because I went and read
about it. And it was $100 goes to the charity, right?
It's a little more than that, actually.
Yes,
a little more.
We a little more than that was going to the charity.
So if you look at it,
the reason why I had no issue buying this bottle. I know you should buy it because I knew it was going for charity. And sometimes I tell people also, and this is one thing I always tell people is read about the bottle you're buying because it may justify sometimes. Now, I understand if somebody's selling barrel proof, straight from the barrel bottle over $100, because for me it makes sense. It's not, people don't understand that most of our whiskey we drink is cut 50%, to be able to make profit. But if somebody's selling you something at barrel proof, I'm expecting to spend no less than $100 and above, no matter what. That's already in my mind. So I get more pissed when someone is actually giving me a bottle that is, fucking 45% alcohol and telling me it's $150. That's when I'd say you woke up and chose violence, because that's not what this is about, right? We have to be clear. Barrel proof means that there's no water. That means the person is not making any profit. Whatever he put in, that's where he's gonna make profit on it. So let's be, I believe we've been in a business, or we've been drinking enough to actually understand which is something being barrel proof and not, but also do a little bit of education on it. I got this bottle, I can only afford one, and I didn't open it because I know it's really a piece of history, a piece of somebody that is part of this bottle, and is a commemorative bottle. And most people just hold on to their commemorative bottle because it is what it is. So
it's very interesting with Kevin McLaughlin, who we did that tribute for. They may not, they're smaller than Independent Stave and some of the bigger ones, but they provide barrels to virtually everyone. And if they don't provide them barrels, they buy their used ones. And, they operate on handshake agreements. Everyone in the industry knew Kevin McLaughlin. I guarantee you, if you were high up at any of the major distilleries anywhere in the country, and any of the new small ones probably bought all or most of some of their new barrels from Calvin Cooperage. They knew him, and to a person, they loved him. And he's probably the least known, most famous person I've ever heard about in bourbon. Mm-hmm. Everyone knew about him when he passed away. The outreach to them was insane. How many people just showed up and sent sympathy to them, and he was such a great guy, and he was such good friends with my partner Bobby. That was Bobby's complete idea. He did virtually everything on his own on that one, even picking the barrels, and it's just a labor of love from him, and I couldn't be prouder of what we were able to do. We gave over $30,000 to his charity from 4 barrels of whiskey. I mean, that's insane.
Absolutely.
We didn't take anything from it ourselves. It was purely for, in his honor.
Yeah, and that I appreciate the sentiment there, and honoring people that actually are here and helping things accomplish. If you just joined the show, we are in the first hour having this interview with Bill here from Four Gates. If you never try Four Gates whiskey, you're lost. You're lost, because this is some really good juice, and it is worth every penny. There is a few people in the industry that are new, that are crafted, that are blended, that are aged, in weird barrels that I will vouch for, and definitely Four Gates is one of them.
I appreciate it.
I will tell you, Bill has a curfew. He needs to go to bed to be able to wake up and be all in full for his family. So we're not gonna keep him longer than he need to. Any last word before the real shenanigans start?
I will.
Tim, he's been very cool right now because of you. So I need him to say something. So I need to kick you off so he can say something.
I'll say 2 things before I leave. Number one, we try to be as transparent as possible. We do have non-disclosure agreements with the people we buy whiskey from, so we can't tell you the distiller. But go to our website, fourgatewhiskey.com, go to our whiskey on that page, and you can find every stat we're allowed to tell you about the whiskey from what was the mash bill? Is it Kentucky or not Kentucky? We only had a couple that weren't. We'll tell you everything we're allowed to tell you. If it's not on there, send us an email. We'll answer it. As long as we're allowed to, we will. Next thing is after this batch 12 comes out, we have 2 more that are lined up. We have our batch 13 is our second release of River Kelvin Rye, and it's now 8 years old. So you get to taste it at 8 years, and we're going to have again, you'll be able to taste it vertically because there's another finished iteration of it coming out this year. And then after that, we have our Bluegrass Trilogy batch, which is really special for us. This one is whiskey. It was a blend of 3 Kentucky straight bourbon whiskeys. So they're all heritage Kentucky distilleries. We blended them together. We finished them in dark rum barrels. And then we took half of that whiskey and put it in tawny port barrels from Australia. And the other half in a pair of sherry barrels.
Look at you.
And the other half went into a pair of sherry barrels. So this is going to be a 3-bottle release. And it is one of them is that rum that's then finished in the tawny port. One of them is that Apera and rum finish, Apera sherry and rum finish. And then the third one is we blended the two together. So the third one will be tawny port, Apera sherry, and rum on the finish. So our Bluegrass trilogy is 3 different ways.
I love it.
We have some collector boxes that are being handmade for us so that they're all pre-ordered.
Shut up and take my money already.
They're beautiful boxes. They're wood boxes, handmade with acrylic glass front on them, and all of those sets will be matched numbers. So if it's bottle 1 of batch 13.1 or 14.1, 14.2, 14.3, you'll get the same bottle number in those specially boxed batches.
It'll be interesting if you can register your bottle so you know exactly who owns them.
That's actually an interesting idea. I never thought about that, but that could be a lot.
I'll take 5%.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. I'm taking 5%.
I'll look into that.
The funny thing is, somebody said, "Why the NDA?" Right? Somebody asked, and it was interesting because the person say, "Why the NDA?" And I also understand NDAs because you have to sign them sometime. But what's the reason of the NDA?
So the distillers want a non-disclosure agreement when they sell it because they don't want you to take their whiskey and then go out and say, "Hey, don't buy Buffalo Trace's whiskey, buy my Buffalo Trace whiskey. It's better, I promise." They don't want, and from my standpoint, I really don't want to trade on someone else's name anyway. I don't think that's very authentic.
That is true.
So I don't want to go out and tell you, "Hey, buy my whiskey," because you're really buying Wild Turkey, or go buy my whiskey because you're really buying Peerless or something like that. You just don't want to do that. That's not authentic to me. It's kind of cheating. And intellectually, I don't think it's fair to the people who actually did put the time in to make it. So they want the NDA. I kind of like having it, to be honest. The only one who doesn't make us sign one is MGP. Okay. We've never signed anything with them. So when I say Indiana Rye, I mean, 95.5, you know exactly what it is. But so, yeah, I mean, there's reasons for it, and I get it. The bourbon nerd in me wants to be able to just tell everybody everything. But from a business side and trying to maintain our own professional integrity and understanding their side of it as well, they're probably a good thing.
I agreed.
But we'll tell you everything else. We'll tell you what the ages were. The 9-year that we used in this next batch was 75% corn, 13% rye, 12% barley. The 12-year was 74, 18, and 8. Okay. In this batch 12 that's coming out. So we'll tell you everything.
You are, even though you have an NDA, you're still transparent, because that's what matters to people. Is if they know the mash bill, you don't really need to know where it's from to know exactly, because you guys are still aging it in your own private, I'm assuming private,
And most people figure out most of those mash bills anyway on their own. I mean, How Modern Thirst we have a page with hundreds of mash bills on it. You can just go look it up. For most of them. Some of them are not on there because they're either not the standard mash bill from a distillery or from a distillery that doesn't disclose their mash bill. So
I appreciate this, Bill. I made sure to keep you about an hour. I know you passed about 25 minutes of your curfew. It's time for you to probably rest your bones and take care of the family. But I want to take a moment and thank you and give you a really thank you from Monday Sucks. You are probably one of, beside a couple people that I know in the industry, you're probably one of the most approachable people that I know in the industry. It's not hard to talk to you at all. You're always, easy to communicate with. On Christmas, I wasn't even expecting, batch 10 to be here on Christmas. And next thing I know, I opened the mail on Christmas and I see batch 10. I was so excited. As a kid, I didn't get a lot of things on Christmas, so you made my favorite people list when I saw that on Christmas. I don't know if everybody got their, anybody that got anything from you, but you sell whiskey, but you got T-shirt, you got hat, and I got my poker coin.
Oh yeah,
I will use as when I go back golfing. Yeah, I'll be using that as my marker.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
About four gates. We appreciate you coming on. Thank you for shutting up Tim for an hour. He couldn't say anything. You have a lot of power. I think we need to have you more often. Every time he's getting excited, and now you're gonna be my new threat. I'll be like, don't make me bring Bill in here to shut you up, right?
Deal.
So
Thank you guys so much for having me. I really appreciate
you coming on. Thank you so much for being here. The show is gonna continue for the next hour, but I really wanted to thank you for coming on. If you don't know Four Gates, now you know. They have 12 batch out now. And if you're able to get your hands on one of them, I promise you, you're not gonna regret it. They have everything for everybody. I hate rye. They made me love rye because of all the twists and things. Like my man said, they all wizard when it comes to actually blending and aging. So give them a chance and tell us what you think. Make sure you hit us on the YouTube here in the comment, or hit us on our IG pages. Bill, thank you for coming.
Bill, before you go, I have to say one thing. And this just speaks to why I'm also so quiet. All of this that we're dealing with now wouldn't exist if it wasn't for this guy over here. He gave me a chance when nobody else in this industry would, and he let me come right for him, and he let me find a home, and really helped me get my name out there. And this show probably wouldn't exist if it wasn't for this man here in the middle. So I can't help but be forever thankful and forever humble for everything you've done for me, man. I really, really appreciate you, and it makes me so happy to see you successful. I love it.
Well, pleasure's all mine, Tim. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
And I appreciate you being here.
Cheers, bud. There we go.
Look at that. And there were two.
Man. And there were two.
There were two. Yes, you were quiet. This is weird. Man. I'm not used to this.
Dude, he is. I am so overly I don't want to talk about it because I'll get emotional, but I am so.
Since when are we not emotional on Monday Sucks?
I am. We ooze emotion on this, but I've just he's such a fucking great guy, and he's given me such a great chance and such an awesome opportunity. And I can't help but be just overly thankful. Like anytime he's around, like I just want to hear everything he has to say and soak it all up. Even if I've heard it 100 times, I still just I want it all, man. I love it. I love it.
And for those of you that are watching, shut up, Tim. You talk too much. So that's literally what we just had. Shut up, Tim. You talk too much. Yeah, somebody please tell him. Shut up, Tim. You talk too much, because for the last 20 minutes, I could not get you to shut up, to say a word. And look at you now. You have everything to say. And I mean, it is important for anybody to actually get used and appreciate the people that makes a difference. To go. I'm making a quick story right now because obviously some of you guys are still confused about what's happening right now.
Yep.
So I'm going to make a quick
getting it too
right now to remind the people, if you're here right now, we are right now. This is Monday Sucks. We are on YouTube right now and on Facebook. Make sure you go and join. Don't say that the show has been canceled. No, it have not been canceled. So right now, I'm putting it on my story and making sure that people work to join us if they come on. Now, let's get the shenanigans started. Let's talk about merit.
Okay. What do you want to say about it?
So, somebody like Four Gates, right? We just talked about Four Gates, and obviously, we just talked about Four Gates, and they don't have a lot of awards out there,
right? Actually, they do and they don't. They have. Right. It's more. I think it's more their rating.
I'm not talking. You realize we had a whole hour conversation, and not even once they've mentioned their awards.
Oh yeah, no, totally.
Do you know what grinds my gear? Is the amount of people that literally
skate, or I would say the amount of people that actually skate, or I would say ride the wave of these awards, right? I know people that have barrel picks that have award.
Mm.
And I'm like, how can a barrel pick have an award? That doesn't make any sense, right? Because I mean,
oh fuck, it's so true.
I mean, call your baby mamas in here because I want to talk about this. Does the number of award determine how good your juice is?
I mean, I don't think so. Apparently, it does now. Apparently, that's the thing.
But think about it. I know a lot of whiskey brand will submit their whiskey and put things out, but does that make your whiskey actually good?
I don't think so. But according to what's going on, apparently it does.
So because I'm sitting here and I go, okay, let's talk about merit. People have barrel picks that they submit for awards.
Mm-hmm.
I hear people talk about, I mean, how many awards do I have there? San Francisco, the Whiskey Awards, blah, 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 blah. And you hear a lot of award going on. But people obviously do have good, good juice that earn awards, right? So I feel sometimes like if we're going to talk about somebody said, hold on, I'm gonna go get my baby mama. but I feel like we need to be more selective when it comes to merit, because a lot of brands out here are always talking about their awards. I want so and so, and I want this and this, and I want this and that, and I go, okay. But does that make your whiskey good?
There's somebody you interviewed who did that for about 3 hours. They talked about all their awards they won.
Okay. But does that make your juice actually good? Right? Let's talk about merit. Because people that deserve merit for the work they're doing are different than people that get merit so they can ride on the wave of that merit to be able to actually sell more product. Right?
Oh yeah, sure.
And I don't understand it. You know what? This is Monday Sucks. We're gonna talk about it. Who, if you guys are watching right now, who do you know that have a shitload of awards that you believe that you does anybody? I guess the first question is, does anybody buy the bottle based on awards?
Depends on whose hands it were in.
Okay,
if you're
watching right now, did you ever buy a bottle based on the award that the bottle got? I have one. I have one that I bought because of the award, and I can tell you which one because I hold that bottle dear and near.
I can tell you right now, I've never bought a single bottle based off an award.
I have one.
I've looked into a brand more because it had awards. But I bought it or didn't buy it based on how it tasted. Period.
So I bought Dewards.
What's the one that you bought based off awards?
Dewards.
Oh,
Dewards,
the
32 years.
There you go. Okay, sure. That was a good fucking bottle, though. That was a great bottle.
But here's the thing: as a single malt lover and somebody who understands the qualification of the whiskey of the year, whiskey of 2020, I don't understand. I'll be like, okay, for the whiskey award, literally to give this one little bottle 32 years the whiskey of the year, it piqued my curiosity, not because of the award, but I'm like, how? I need to taste it.
Sure.
Almost as a dare, right?
Yeah.
Had many things that won award prior to award and suddenly become allocated. Yeah. So I was coming also to that. I feel like these awards that are given to this bottles makes them, the some of the owners are not resting on their laurels, right? A perfect example will be 291. 291 had a bunch of awards, But they're not resting on their laurels. They're still working harder every day to make sure that, people are actually out there. But I feel sometimes like some brands that get their awards will ride that wave, and all of a sudden, right? Let's go with bourbon. Let's start with bourbon. Henry McKenna,
Sure.
very affordable bottle. Everybody loves it. Everybody
You used to pay $25 for that bottle.
$22.99. Most people love their bottle, and all of a sudden, it wins an award, and not only
it won back to back. But it won back-to-back awards.
Yes.
Yep.
So not only it now is allocated, but it's also now 3 times the price. Or twice the price.
Yeah, twice the price, sometimes 3 times the price. Yeah, sure.
Why?
And there would have been no reason prior to that, though. There would have been no reason for that bottle to be
I said, did
3 times the price.
Shit in the juice while he won an award, so now he has to be double the price? No. So now this award is becoming a marketing gimmick for people to actually get on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. Absolutely.
Right. Let's talk about celebrities.
Oh shit! Here we go. Here we go.
Does a bottle merit more attention because a celebrity kissed it? Put his picture next to it?
Okay, I will say this. There was one bottle that I bought into of a celebrity. Straight up. I'll admit to it. I'll admit to it.
We all know Belfort.
Yep. That's more a sport. I'm talking straight up celebrity whiskey. Nick Offerman.
Yeah.
Because Nick Offerman always just praised and worshipped Scotch. Like he always had amazing things to say about Scotch. And I figured if the dude had his name on a bottle, then it must be worth at least trying.
No. But here's the thing. Here's the thing though. That is like, that's not even you bought it because of a name. Because that's actually a barrel that was picked by the men, a blend that was picked by the men, right? Because the men drink, it's like if somebody tell you, could some have his single barrel or have his blend? You'd be like, I trust Hood some because he always talk about shit, so I'm gonna buy it. Not that one, right? The price was bad because the celebrity, I'm sure he need his kickback on it.
Okay. I see where you're going with this. You're talking the other direction.
The juice itself was work of the man's palate. So if you listen to the man and believe in his palate, I'm fine with that.
Sure.
What I refuse, what I 100% refuse, and this goes to everybody that just buy things because a celebrity says so, right?
Sure.
John fuck Blantons. That's what I just heard from somebody. That's people are talking about it, right?
You know what? Nah, it doesn't have anything to do with John Wick. Like that bottle has been. You could look through movies before John Wick.
If you look at Bob and Abishola on CBS. If you look at, I have like 4 or 5 shows that I picked up. That movie
iconically it just looks so good on a shelf. Or if you need a shot of bourbon, it just works so iconically. John Wick, sure, it added to it, but it's not the reason it's not the reason Blends is popular.
Yeah. So I would tell you one thing that grinds my gear, right? Grinds my gear. There is four things now that are out because of celebrities. One is a gin that is out with a celebrity name on it.
It's purple. It barks.
Just sucks ass, right? Sucks ass. 2, there is a cognac with a celebrity name on it. Also horrible.
Yep.
There is an infused whiskey that has the name of bourbon with a celebrity attached to it.
Well, he also just bought it.
Doesn't fucking matter.
Okay.
It's infused whiskey.
Okay.
It's infused whiskey.
Okay.
Infused whiskey is not bourbon. We know
it's
that
not.
as a fact.
It's not.
The other one is this vodka or vodkas. I think the celebrities go for vodkas all the time. Like vodka is just
It's easy to do.
Celebrities
It's easy to
are
do.
like, there's two things that celebrities always go for that always annoys me. Two things. One, vodka. Two, right, is vodka number one, tequila number two, and three is usually cognac, right? Every celebrity, when they make money, their life goes, okay, I made a little bit of money. I need some tax deduction. Let me buy into this vodka company because vodkas always sell. And if I do a couple, 3 or 4 parties, gonna go. Two, tequila, because tequila, you can go to Mexico, get your tequila, buy into this shit, and sell it out. And three, cognac. Because, and the other thing that annoys me is because people think black people are gullible enough just to go and drink any sort of cognac. So it annoys the crap out of me because these celebrities plays on stereotype because a marketing guy told them about it. They play on I like to say mainstream ways, and then all of a sudden these spirits don't have any value. So if one celebrity step in the bourbon game and trying to talk about, I hope somebody come in and say, get the fuck out of here, right? Get the fuck out. We don't care about what you think. No one cares about your celebrity thing. You don't know bourbon. You just don't know bourbon. Get the fuck out, right? That's all.
Sure.
And I hope that as we are going through this, we call out this celebrity or these celebrities on things that they're putting out for not just the beginner consumer, but for the real OGs of drinking. Right? So I have to say there's only a few people that can say I really understand whiskey. I've been drinking it for a while. Yeah, you're right. Don't shade on Long Branch. Do I like Long Branch? No, I don't. But again, it's a Wild Turkey product. You're a Wild Turkey fan, so obviously you will love it. But it's not bad. It's not bad.
It's not
bad. It's not bad. But we have to stop this bullshit culture of spirit being driven by celebrities, and no one is actually just coming out and saying, no, keep acting, right? Keep singing, right? Keep rapping, keep doing whatever you do, but no one gives a shit about your ability to enjoy good bourbon. Like I love when I think Ludacris came on with somebody with the man with the ass cut. Came on with the man with the ass cut and drink what is the Victor 20 that he had on. But Ludacris couldn't really tell you if this bottle was a $5,000 bottle. He couldn't. All he knew was it was good. And I like the fact that he just said it was good. But if Ludacris today is coming on and saying he's the official sponsor of Victor 20, I said, get the fuck on. Get the fuck out of here. That's not your domain. Just keep acting, singing, and rapping. Move, bitch, get out of the way. That's how it should be, right? That's what it should be. But if someone actually say, hey, I quit what I'm doing, I've done it, I'm retired. Let's say, for example, Peyton Manning say, I quit what I'm doing, right? I quit what I'm doing. I'm good now. But this have always been my passion, right? So I'm going to be where it's been distilled, it's been aged, it's been blended, and then I'm going to put it out there, right? Yeah. I'll be like, okay, this is now your project, and you can sit down, and if I interview you, you could tell me, you know what? Yeah. We use this mash bill, right? We've used this aging process. We've done this, and this. Or I've tasted all these things. Through my career, and I tasted this thing, and I'm like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever.
Sure.
And I want the world to taste it with me. That I can respect. Nick Offerman never went anywhere and said, "Oh, I'm Nick Offerman, and by the way, Lagavulin stand behind me." Nah. I heard it later in the press release. I'm like, oh, okay. You know, yeah, actually, verse from Spirit. Yeah, he have a conjure. And I say that's all celebrities are out here doing. So my problem with people today in this spirit industry is celebrities and award people. These are the people I'm attacking today, or I'm bringing onto the table for us to talk about. Right? Is why is it that people don't give a shit about quality when you know?
You know what? I can answer that question for you. I can 100% answer that question for you because I ran into this last week when I was talking to you about Brothers Bond Bourbon. Remember, I brought this up last time we had a phone conversation? I'm looking on their Instagram. You know who's following them? You know who's praising their brand? All their fans. These are people that aren't in the industry who aren't consuming brown spirits on a regular basis. They go, "Oh my God, my favorite actor made a whiskey. I love it. It's so good."
Hold on a second. I'm gonna show you. Who here is watching out on their TV? Make a small video or make
and send it to us. Hell yeah.
Make a post of you watching us on your TV right now and post it so people can know that they can watch us on their TV so they can stop saying that the show is canceled.
But that's what I think. That's what I think that they're going after. I think they're going after a completely different crowd, and they really don't give a shit about the everyday consumer like you and me. Like, sure, some of those people might try go, "Hey, I'm kind of curious about this." That was okay. Like they reached a level of fandom where they can come out with something and it be just okay, and then still do all right. I don't think they get, honestly, sad to say, I don't think they give a shit about people like you and me. That's kind of what I'm gauging from it.
I guess so. Because are they using their fandom then to
100%. 100%. They have to be. I would love to be wrong on this, but from what I've seen so far, just researching this, it looks like they're using their fandom.
You know what? Maybe you're the one who can answer this question. So you are in retail, so you see the retail. I'm a consumer, so you are retail.
Sure.
When people come to buy these things that you see come on a retail site, do you believe that they're more of newer consumer?
I can almost tell.
Oh, let me pick up there. You know, is somebody walking and saying the LBC, they are here to actually get their stuff. Somebody said they're going after the
can tell you, yeah, I will say this. I can tell you almost every single time that I know exactly where they are, either in their in their spirits consumption career, or it's just completely fandom. Every single time I can tell when they're a new drinker.
Somebody said we are not their market. Emily said something really interesting. Say he ate his chili and said this 20K bottle is good and chug some 291E.
Yeah, but
I would say the funny thing. And Tim is right. They said they're going after a newer drinker. I have to agree with that. I have to agree. Stan is still going. Stan is still saying fuck John. Somebody is mad about that.
He woke up and chose violence. He woke up and chose some violence. That's okay. That's okay.
He's not happy about this. Somebody please send Stan some love because
Stan, do you want me to send you some Blantons? Will that make you feel better?
Should we all get together and send Stan some Blantons so
Stan,
feel better?
Would it make you feel better if I gave you some money from my wallet?
The other thing that I usually disagree with is how a celebrity. I think the only person that came to defend their tequila was The Rock, I believe.
Okay, That dude. Okay, there's two celebrities right now that I will get back behind what they're getting back behind. The first one is Matthew McConaughey with Wild Turkey, and the reason why is because the process that he went through to create Long Branch, he tasted barrel sample after barrel sample after barrel sample after barrel sample after barrel sample, and just to make sure that he wasn't completely full of shit, Eddie sent him the same thing twice to make sure that he could tell that it was still the same thing, and he still picked it out.
Okay.
And so he really knew what he was doing.
All right.
Exactly. So he knew what he was doing. So when he put his name on that bottle of Wild Turkey, it's the only time besides one of the Russells that a different name has been on the bottle of Wild Turkey. First time in history. Okay. So like they went through the work and they did it. The other thing, Terramana, that tequila, cancel culture got Monday sucks. Right? Cancel culture did get Monday sucks. Damn, Emily.
Emily said cancel culture got Monday sucks. You know what? I would tell you one thing. I would tell you one thing, Em, and this is actually important. I'm not afraid of cancel culture. If there is a brand, right, here's what I say. This is a show, right? This is a show. And if there is a brand that believes that I'm saying something, right? I'm saying something about their brand, or even a celebrity, which I'm sure no celebrity is watching this, but even a celebrity today says, I guarantee you, I know exactly which product I'm putting out. This is why I'm behind it. Guess what? You're invited here every Monday. Come on. You want to cancel me? I don't give a shit. But all I know is I'm not talking about anything that I do not know. So when I talk about the purple bottle of gin, I tested this gin against 6 gin that were low-end gin, and I still didn't like it. I know this. This infused name that they put bourbon in, I'm still mad about it. And as a black man that sometimes actually idolize some of these celebrities, I don't understand why they get into this gimmicky stuff. And sometimes, I talked about you guys. You guys have a lot of awards. But does that mean that all your product that got awards are good? No. Some of them are not in my taste profile, and I will not have it. But some of your product have amazing awards, and they actually did well, and they taste actually well. What I refuse is that for people to choose to either buy something based on award, which is stupid, because we're here to educate, buy something based on the research of what the juice is made of, who is distilling it, where it's from, and how it is, and if you fall under their profile. 2, celebrities are hyping up bottle. They're not any better than the secondary market. They're not any better. Celebrities are doing the same thing the secondary market does. Is you put your name in front of anything, obviously that thing is gonna sound more appealing to people. So even if it's shit, people are still gonna buy it.
Yep. Totally.
So let's be honest and say, stop driving people to give you money in your pocket when this is something people actually love, and then next thing you know, people started hating it because oh my god is so and so and John Blow and this that actually came out with this, and then you realize it sucks. It does. So Tim, you said it best. Maybe we are not the consumer. The OGs of drinking, the OGs that want to enjoy something are not their consumer. It's the new, I like to say, the new fool of the industry that they're trying to fool.
Yep.
By saying, hey, this motherfuckers right here are new to it. They don't care what they drink. That's why I tell people there is a place for, metal corn. There's a place for Fireball. There's a place for horchata. There's a place for Miller Lite. There's a place for all those things, but there is levels to this shit, right? There's levels to this shit, right? So for me, the OG drinking, maybe that's never gonna be something I'll pick up because I did my research,
sure,
my education, and I'm looking at this thing going,
yeah.
I don't care if it's Jesus himself that his name on it. I'm not buying this thing. I'm not putting my money in it because it's just stupid. I'm not gonna buy it. because I've done my research. I don't like it.
Yeah.
So yeah, to say, yep, the celeb is how you expand beyond us. Yep, that is it. You know,
There's yeah, man. I have
it's
yet
a
I
milk
have
in my
yet to
mouth.
have I've yet to have like, and I'm talking, okay, this isn't like a celebrity getting in and doing the work for a product. This is just a celebrity putting their name on a product. Like they're like, hey, I'm going to come out with my own thing. Here it is. I have yet to have something that I was like, yeah, that's what I want to drink all day. Yeah, that's where I want to go. Yeah, that's the bottle I want to give money to. Like
Yeah.
it hasn't happened. It hasn't happened.
Yeah, somebody says something really tater
Tater
bait
bait bottles.
That is
100%.
true.
And here's the thing. You can keep getting away with that because this is such a booming industry. There's new people every single day.
You know what? I need to address this. I need to address this. So Anthony makes a point. I do have a wall of shame, but here's why. Because I was that consumer, right? I was that consumer that went with the hype. And I say this all the time. One of the reasons why you guys see me here talking about what I'm talking about is because I've been there, done it. I made the mistake, got the t-shirt, the certification of being an idiot. I have all that. So when I come and talk about something, obviously, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Apparently my accent on TV is hilarious because even the picture cannot translate my accent. Unlike somebody who say Alabama, that person trying to tell me my accent is terrible. but what I'm saying here is that my wall of shame is because I actually made those mistakes, right?
Right.
So now I'm very abrasive and careful when I'm gonna buy something only solely that's when we were talking about I bought something based on awards. I totally say yes. I bought it based on award. Not because I'm like, oh my God, it's the best thing ever. No. I saw the award. I say, if this thing get the best, single malt whiskey of the world, I need to taste this thing. As it's $160. Yeah, let me see what
375.
Right? but it wasn't for the fact that, oh my God, this is so blah blah blah, or is no. I went and read about it before I bought it. I'm like, oh, okay, it was made. It was it was four different casks. I said, okay, 4 different casks. Okay, all right, sherry cask. Okay, ex bourbon cask. Okay, I'm reading this. I'm like, you know what? Just because these motherfucker came out with all these things, just for the sake of how they came up with it, I'm totally gonna try this shit to see what. And I've tried it on my birthday last year, and by God, it was amazing. So
I remember when you got it, man.
Yeah, and it was on my birthday. I've enjoyed it, and it's been a year now. So I really, 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 I'm 100% all about that transparency. I'm 100% all about making sure that we But like I said, fuck up cancel culture. I don't give a shit. If somebody has something to say, if somebody want to bring on something right now and have something, and any of these brands that think that, oh my God, is it's a you said something about this brand that is not true. Come on in. We never told any brand not to come and have a conversation. As a matter of fact, you have people every day talking trash. Here we just having a conversation. We just stating the facts. But you got people that actually wake up and talk trash about brands just to actually talk trash about brand. And some of these people are talking trash about brands and they haven't actually tasted even the brand. Like some people will talk to me about like a whiskey. And sometimes people bait me in those conversations like, oh, what do you think about this? And I'll be like, I haven't tried it. But the simple fact that is this, and this, I don't think is something I would like. Because I've tried maybe something that looks like that or is like that prior. So I don't know if this is going to be my thing. Right?
Yeah.
So if you're watching the show right now, we're about an hour and a half in. This happens every Monday. This is Monday Sucks. This is the place where we usually plug in commercials. So if you're a brand and want to actually advertise here, Go ahead. We here. We here for you.
We got something in the works actually, commercial wise and sponsorship brewing in the background. We might, in fact, next week's show might have a sponsorship. It might happen. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
You never know. But if you're a brand and this is where you want to plug in your T-shirt or your brand or Metalcorn want to sign us a check, we'll be more than.
You want to send me a check, Metalcorn? I was trolling you this week. You want to send me a check? Let's do this. I got to talk about two cool things that happened this week. The first one was today. If you missed it, go check out my Instagram story. I got to go hang out with Kentuxican hot sauce. Kentuxican is the official hot sauce of bourbon. It is bourbon infused hot sauce. It is so damn good. I love it. But we made a batch of Kentuxican with Blanton's. We dumped bottles of Blanton's into this batch of hot sauce, and it is so damn good. I had a blast.
I'm surprised no one told you to go fuck yourself yet.
Oh, I already got all the messages. I'm sure I'll get plenty of them more. I'll get plenty more of them. But yeah, man, we dumped whiskey into hot sauce, and we did our damn thing. Let's see. Where's the video of me dumping it? Hold on.
I don't think there's a video yet.
There is. Where'd it go? Here it is, right here. Look at that.
Ooh.
There it goes.
Blanton into. You should have sent me the video. I could play it here. If you text me the video, you could text it.
Hell yeah, dude.
I'll play it.
Yeah. I'll do that right now. So we did that. That was a lot of fun. And then here you go. Send it to you. And then I think it was 2 or 3 days ago. 2 or 3 days ago, I went over to my buddy Mike's house. You got to meet Mike when you were out here. And Mike is a very interesting fellow because he's very loving, open, and accepting, and the warmness that he carries with himself invites lots of people into his space. So lots of really interesting people you get to hang out with that you probably would have never hung out with on any regular level. So there's a dude that is a part of this space now that works for Michter's, and he is currently in charge of making the next batch of shakes that's going to come out. The next version of shakes. So I showed up to his house and he goes, "Okay, before you get started, you have to taste all 4 of these bottles and tell me which blend you like the best. Whichever blend you like the best, that's going to go to the next round, and it's going to end up being the final blend for Shanks this year." And I was like, "Hell yeah, dude. I'm up for the challenge." And then he goes, "After that, you have to taste this bottle, and if you tell me what it is, you get to take it home." And I said, "Absolutely. I'm totally up for the challenge." So taste all the whiskeys.
The funny thing is, that person thought I was trying to set him up because when I came back, I met them, and when I came back in town, after a while, I sent him a message and went, "Hey, you have some experiment you wanted to send me. I haven't, I was supposed to send you my address." And he literally never responded to me. And I'm like, he probably think this guy is an ops, right? Because the day he was talking to me, he was a little inebriated, so he doesn't know who he's talking to.
That's totally understandable. But I would approach him one more time and be like, "Hey man, just get at him again," because he's very he's finally getting somewhere with his job, and I think he's very concerned about what he does and what information is going out. But I guessed what this is, and this is something that will probably never exist. But this is the Michter's American Toasted at Barrel Proof.
Nice.
So that's kind of exciting, right?
That is exciting.
There you go. There's the exciting things that happened to me this week. So that's what I'm sipping on right now. I'm drinking Michter's American Toasted Barrel Proof.
Which doesn't always happen.
Oh, it does not. It does not. Are you trying to get the video up on the screen?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
trying to see here if I can actually have it. I think I added it to my photos, but I'm sure a few people will be pissed when you post this because they're like, how is it that we end up with this thing? Let me see here.
Let me get back to these comments so I can see what people are saying. Here we go.
Let me see here.
Yeah, Jonathan, you're right. We did give him that idea. We 100% gave him that idea. Woo!
Oh, you guys give him that idea? Oh, to the toasted.
Yeah, the toasted American.
American.
Yep. We were giving him shit. Like, you should do a toasted American. And he's like, that's a great idea. It's like, how the fuck have you not thought of this yet? Doing toasted American. You know what? It's really good. I will say on the mid palate, it gets a little dull, but then it kicks back in on the back with the proof. But the nose is unreal. It's burnt caramel, it's toasted coconut, and burnt marshmallows. It's absolutely lovely. I love it.
You can buy that at Walmart. And
I really like the American to get go. I think it's my favorite product that they do already. So being able to get it toasted is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But the nose is the best part about it, hands down.
Okay, here.
Oh, I hear it.
Yes, but I have to. It won't come on because the file is too big. So so it's all right. It's all right. We will make sure. Yeah, Mictor's also got elevated by billions.
It's okay. I'll show it again. Here you go, guys.
Yeah. Or some Blantons into.
Hey, at least it didn't get poured down a drain, right?
Wow.
Guys, go check out Kentuxican. Go check out my story. Go check out Kentuxican, the official hot sauce of bourbon. They did not pay me. Once again, I just love working with really great products. But go check out Kentuxican. You'll see them on my story. Go follow their Instagram page. Buy some of their hot sauce. Let's blow them up. Let's make it a thing. Let's make it a thing.
Coming to the Showtime soon, Sean. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for joining, Dalton. I just wanted to take a moment to thank all of y'all that always come on Monday Sucks, because this show will not be here without y'all. And you're always supporting. Today we did talk about 4 Gates. So if you guys don't own 4 Gates, I'll tell you. You heard the man himself tell you about the product, and I can tell you right now, 4 Gate is some good shit.
Yes, it is.
I'm not even gonna talk shit. There's a lot of bottles that pretend to be good, but 4 Gate is some good shit.
Do you have a favorite yet out of the ones that you've tried?
So far this rye, this Ruby Rye is impressive.
That Ruby Rye really hit a soft spot for me.
It's quite impressive. Yeah. I can't even talk shit. That Ruby Rye is impressive because the way they made it, every time they use those experimental staves, I get worried of how it's gonna come out. But my God. I'm probably gonna open batch 9 next.
Batch 9, dude. Batch 9 has this weird thing about it because it has this sweetness in it at the beginning, but then it has this really dry characteristic, and it dries out your palate so much to where you need to take another sip. Like, you could easily crush half that bottle and not even realize it. It's just so damn good.
So
there you go.
Batch 9.
I got a batch 6 sitting over here that I'm waiting to open.
Yeah, because batch 9. Is it batch 9? That is it.
Batch 9 was a sherry. I think it was batch 9 was the sherry and sharing the port and rum. Was it port and rum batch 9?
Yeah, I believe so.
Because batch 6 is cognac and rum.
Yes. But this is if you guys never had it, you definitely need to check it out. This is the shit right here. This is the shit. 66, yeah, and it's all barrel proof.
Yeah, it's all barrel proof.
And that's
every single bottle is barrel proof.
And for all of you guys that is here, remember, my DMs are open, messages are open. If you review any bottle that you want to put on the Truth is Barrel Proof, I took a hiatus for a week because I was so busy traveling back and forth. But I'm still taking what do you call it? The embellished pod. Send me a review of the Buffalo Trace. I posted it last week. It was just he was very honest. I love his review. He literally just said, "Hey, I don't consider myself an expert. I'm just here. I'm just a regular guy. I just want to tell you about Buffalo Trace." And I'm like, this is why I created this platform.
Yep.
I have a few brands that I've reviewed to actually put up. But if you truly want a 5-minute review, you review a bottle, you send it to me with the picture, I'll be more than happy to actually show off. So far, Tim and I are neck to neck on how many plays on our thing. I think we have about 30. We're getting close to 30 people that played.
Man, that's 60 fucking cents. That's what I'm talking about.
It's quite and it's crazy. And it's crazy. Tim made a whooping $3. $2 and some cents for about.
There you go. Hey man, getting paid somewhere.
Yeah, we will love. I would love more people to participate. 5-minute review. Tell us about the history of the bottle. Open it right there, taste it right there, and tell us what you think and your taste note. If it's good enough, we'll post it up and we'll give you credit for it. And if a lot of people play it, you will get paid for whatever it
you
is.
You get money.
Yeah, you get money out of it. That's and Bourbon Jeepers keep telling me that his is coming, and I still haven't seen it. I still haven't seen his review yet. All the people that actually even sent me a review didn't say they have a review already posted their review. But Bourbon Jeepers, because of Alabama, is still haven't posted his thing yet. But I wanted to create a podcast for the community, by the community, to make sure that that's why we call it the Truth is Barrel Proof. We don't want any tainted. We don't want you to tell us about the brands that are sending you free bottles. Just something you've tasted. I want you to open your bottle, just taste it. Tell us the origin. Tell us really how you do your research, right? That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
When they get a bottle, they don't do their research. So tell us how you did, did your research about why is it that you actually, got there, and why did you get it? What's the origin of it? What triggered you to actually get it? And a little bit of the story behind it. Bourbon Jeeper said, "Do not call me a liar." He that is not something he's okay with. So calm your ass down, people. We are not here to actually use offensive terms against people. Not everybody is your best friend. So that's a little bit about the Truth is Barrel Truth, right? So for all of you guys make sure that it tastes like corn. Yeah, you can also say it tastes like corn, but I would need a little more than that. Just it tastes like corn. So
you gotta talk about it a little bit. It's got to be 5 minutes. In the 5 minutes is perfect. Yeah. If you talk a little bit about where it's from, and the history, you could do the history. You could do quick history about the distillery, quick little history about the bottle, and then boom, tasting notes. You're done. Like 5 minutes is seriously the perfect time.
No one want to be bored with your bullshit.
Nope. Right? Just get in and get out. Boom, boom.
Hey,
in and out.
3-Pump Jack. That's all we want here. This is a podcast for the 3-Pump Jack. That's what it is. This is a podcast for Three Pump Jack. You come in, you out. That's all we want. We want the podcast to last as fast as your best performance in junior high. That's all we want. That's all we want. You know, we want to make sure that you come in, you tell us exactly 1, origin, 2, why the bottle, 3, taste note, and get out. 3 Pump Jack. That's I should change the name of the the podcast. Call it the 3 Pump Jack Whiskey Podcast. That's what it is. We want pow, you out. That's all we want. We don't need more than that. Don't come here and bore us with your bullshit of marzipan and prairies and lavender and what. You know what? If you taste lavender, good for you. But if you bring marzipan, anisette, and only thing that you bring in that I do not like, I would send it back to you and say, this is a 3 Pump Jack, not a 5 Pump Jack. Sir, you are exaggerating. Get out. You good. So that's
someone said it's not about quality, it's about money. And no, it's not. It is about quality. It's about
Sean is just trying to fuck with us.
Sure, but I'm still going to speak on it because not everybody knows that he's trying to fuck with us. It's about giving something back to this community. Like this community has given Jack and I so much that we want to give back just as much as they've given to us. So it's about creating something. It's about giving this community a voice, right? Like, because not everybody in this community has a voice. So why not give them that?
I was actually quite impressed by Embellish Pod, when he did it.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Absolutely.
I mean, people have talent here. It's just not everybody sit in front and talk for an hour. So you guys think sometimes that we want to sit here and just talk for the 2 hours and just get out. I'll be honest with you.
Oh, damn. Shots fired. Shots fired in the chat. Shots fired in the chat. Holy shit. I didn't think it was going to come up tonight. I was trying to sidestep around it earlier.
This is why we can't do it. We can't do some of y'all in public. Some of you guys, we can't take you all in public. You always get us in trouble, even when we don't want to, right? Some of y'all
around that earlier. Y'all tried bringing it up earlier, and I said, nope, not today.
We can't take some of your outside with you.
God, damn.
As what is the best black people expressions? Like you don't mind your manners. That's
you don't gotta mind your manners. You gotta mind your
manners. Act like you got some sense. Act like you were raised somewhere. That's literally what it is. Funny thing. Speaking of that, it's also about people that actually get easily offended, right? And obviously.
Shit. Obviously,
it is if I understand. I mean, we were criticized before, right? We were criticized before. People came like, Monday sucks. I don't understand why you guys call it Monday sucks. You guys always are negative. You guys always talking about shit that doesn't make sense. Blah blah blah. We're here.
Monday sucks. Fuck your feelings.
Fuck your feelings, right? But we defend ourselves because this is truly what we believe in. If all of these brands that actually don't have their little tiny violin that they're why don't you love me going on, it's just, dude, you could. I'm expecting them to go, oh, you don't like my brand? Fuck your feelings. There's people that are drinking it every day, so I don't give a shit. When you're ready to like my brand, we can talk about it. And I won't even, and people always tease me with Chattanooga. Like literally, I get DM every day say, hey, did you hear Chattanooga got a new bourbon that you need to go get? Or they finished this one in unicorn barrels or something. And I laugh about it, but I really take it just lightly because I don't expect Chattanooga to say, oh, Jack doesn't like Chattanooga, so oh my God, we need to change the way I do it. No. All I know is Chattanooga owed me $79.99. That's all I know. Everything else is irrelevant. right? They obviously still selling. There's still people out there that are still buying it. There's still people posting about it. They're still selling to customers. So there is a consumer there for any brand out there. So if you come and talk to a brand, you could be my best friend, right? You could be my best friend and you produce whiskey. Knowing that whiskey is an art, I will tell you immediately, yeah, nah. That thing you came out is just that's trash.
Right.
And I expect you to respect it just as it is. You know, when I literally want to come up with the truth is barrel proof, a friend of mine say, why?
Yeah.
Why? Right? But it's the same way that other people say, I like this 5-minute shit. That's what I've always this even an hour podcast annoys the shit out of me. I start listening and then I doze off. But somebody like, you know what? I like this. But somebody else look at me, somebody that I actually respect and trust, literally look at me and went, why? Nah. You know, so the truth is, not everything you do, people are gonna like. So why in the fuck you like to be liked by anybody? Now, if you're out here making trash every day, expect people to actually come on and say, yeah, you shoot your shot, it's all trash all day. No one cares. So I'm not gonna go and tell people don't go buy this brand, but I can tell them my experience with it.
Sure.
That's why there is Yelp, Google review, monkey survey, all this shit, because it's just trash. But it's the same when something is amazing, you jump on. That's why sometimes I'm afraid when people talk about sponsorship, right?
Sure.
Because people be like, oh, because you're sponsored by so and so, you will be biased, right? You will be unbiased or biased against something. Then you go, oh, okay, now I can't even give my real opinion.
Right.
So no, I don't want to do that. I don't do that. I just, you know, let's be sponsored by, you know, Boscalino hats that you wear, or, you know, by a t-shirt or something. But a specific brand, when they sponsor you, then that means obviously your ass can't say anything without people going, oh, because you're sponsored by so and so, that's why you say no. So it is hard. It is hard. So I think I keep a little bit of my integrity. You know, I try to make sure that I'm fair with everything we talk about. Tim, tell the people.
What'd you say?
I said, tell the people where they can find you.
Oh, absolutely. Here on the lovely YouTube, Modern Thirst and Single Barrel Snob, on the Instagram at Single Barrel Snob and Modern Thirst. ModernThirst.com, the newest whiskey news and reviews. Catch me on Clubhouse here and there. Single Barrel Snob with no vowels. Come hang out with us. Let's have a good time. Let's party.
And if you're watching here, this is Monday Sucks. Here we don't care about your feelings. We care about what you believe in as a person. We respect everybody's opinion, but we make it a party for whiskey and people lovers. We are all about the people, and we all about loving people. So if you love people, you love whiskey, and you love a nice conversation, come on here, hang out with us every Monday, right? And if you're a brand and you want us to talk about you and not be biased about it, send us a DM. You know, my Mondays sucks. My Mondays suck at gmail.com.
Gmail.com.
Right? Make sure you email us. We are out here for all of it. And for all of you Monday Sucks elite group, I want to thank you again for being here with us. We will not be where we are without you. We want to make sure that you know we love you as much as you love us. And we are here every Monday. Next week, we have something interesting to bring to y'all. Stay tuned. It's going to be something way more interesting. The goal here is to at least every other week bring a brand on. I'm talking to you, Emily. We have a lot of friends in the industry that are brands, and I would love for them to come hang out with us every now and then. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you actually set, if you go on YouTube and you're on my YouTube right now, make sure you turn on the bell notification. So every time I post about the show, you get the notification as well. If you follow Modern Thirst, make sure you turn on the bell notification. So every time they post something, you also are aware of it.
beside that, we are here for a good time. We appreciate you. We love y'all. And we'll see you next Monday.
Cheers, dudes.